Hi guys, today we are talking about chapter 3 and that is the rooms division. So we're talking about the breakdown of the hotel structure, customer service, and so on. So the general manager is the person responsible for running a hotel. Depending on the size of the property, they might oversee all aspects of the operation or have leadership staff to supervise each department. Because most staff will have direct impact on the guest stay, it is crucial that all staff are well trained and report to a manager for regular updates and feedback. There are countless ways to structure staff to maximize efficiency and guest satisfaction. Depending on the size and price point of the property, it may make sense to have one staff member handle a guest's entire arrival experience, or it may be appropriate for guests to interact with several employees throughout the check-in process. So I want to share an experience I had at the Omni La Costa Resort in Carlsbad, California. I was there for a conference for my job, and I was 7 months pregnant. Omni is a very high-end brand, so I had high expectations. When I arrived, I was greeted by a bellman who opened my car door, said they would keep my car closed while I checked in, and directed me to the lobby. At the registration desk, a guest service agent helped assign me a room and answered any questions I had. I then returned to my car, where a bellman noticed my obvious giant pregnant belly, helped me unload my belongings onto a golf cart to transport me to my room. As the bellman drove me across the massive resort, he pointed out key locations such as the pool, restaurant, conference center, and when we arrived at my room, he placed my luggage inside, made sure the temperature was comfortable for me. He left me with instructions to call guest services if I needed anything else. A few minutes later, there was a knock on the door. It was a welcome gift of cheese, crackers, fruit, and sparkling water. Talk about a warm welcome, right? I felt so taken care of and appreciated. Not every hotel can or should offer this level of service, but there are ways to make every guest feel this welcome without the expense of free food or staffing required to escort each guest to their room. So I want you to think, why would or wouldn't a hotel offer this level of service? And what can lower cost hotels do to make the guests feel this welcome? All right. So first impressions are so important in the hospitality industry. So I want to share another experience I had at a hotel in Miami, Florida, about 10 years ago when I lived in the Florida Keys. We decided to take a last-minute trip to Miami, so we booked a room online, trying to find somewhere affordable just a day before our trip. On the drive up the coast, we hit traffic and had to make a few unexpected stops. So we didn't arrive at our hotel until about 10 p.m. When we went to check in, it took the front desk agent a while to find our reservation. She finally figured it out and sent us to a room. We opened the door to find that the room had not been cleaned after the last guest had left. So we went back to the lobby and we were given a key to a different room. We walked into that room to find another guest already asleep in the bed. Needless to say, we were very upset. The front guest agent told us that they didn't have any other rooms available and then that she couldn't do anything to help us. We were hours from home with nowhere to stay, and I just about lost it. After a little pushback, she finally offered us a room at a neighboring hotel. We drove down the street to the other, much nicer hotel. The agent checked us in, and we headed up to our beautiful room on the top floor. And we ended up having a wonderful stay at that hotel. But the issues nearly soured our entire trip. So ironically, that very experience really solidified my desire to work in hospitality. I kept replaying the encounter over and over in my head, thinking there had to be a better way to handle that type of situation, and that it probably could have been avoided to begin with. I'm sure that online reservation systems have improved a lot in the last 10 years. In addition, I hope that managers have a better awareness of when overbooking may occur and train their employees to handle those situations in a professional, courteous way. So I want you to think about, what could the hotel have done to avoid this or prevent this negative experience, and how could the employee have handled the situation differently? So think about that. All right, a couple last points I want to make on talking about this chapter. Housekeeping. It's one of the most important departments of any hotel. No matter how great the service is, if the rooms and common areas are not clean, guests do not want to stay there. From a management perspective, having a happy housekeeping staff will go a very long way. They have a hard job to do and are in a position to make or break guest experience and your budget. So train them well, train them to use their time and supplies efficiently, and to be polite and compassionate to guests. So what other steps could a manager take to ensure that their housekeeping staff is happy? Think about that. So what could you do beyond just paying them for their time, right? Another thing I want to touch on is sustainability. So hopefully you all are familiar with the term sustainability, but it generally in common culture, it means environmentally friendly, green, non-damaging to the planet or animals or the community around us, right? So sustainability is a buzzword in every industry these days. We're going to talk about it pretty much every week. Hotels can work to be green, and leverage this to their advantage. So many environmentally friendly initiatives also save the hotel money. In addition, guests often appreciate when hotels care about their impact on the planet and may choose them over a competitor because of their sustainable practices. So think about what steps could an existing hotel take to become more sustainable. All right, lots of things to think about this week. I hope you enjoyed the lecture, and I hope you understand everything in Chapter 3. If you have any questions, let me know.